Hi, and welcome to another edition of Race Stories with Billy and Sam. This is a mountaintop edition with a lake view.
Yeah, man. Got Bear Lake behind us.
We are in beautiful, I guess we're north of Logan, Utah.
South of St. Charles,
we
Idaho.
are lost in the mountains of Utah. Please send help. Maybe a helicopter and some snacks. No, we're having a great time. We're racing out here tomorrow.
That's the lake. We're going to swim in that lake tomorrow. That's where our swim is. In fact, and we're going to bike around the lake. The bike loop is around the lake, so that's pretty cool. Hopefully that'll be pretty flat.
Yeah, I wonder, will that be a two-state bike?
Yeah, man.
Augusta all over again.
Oh, in Chattanooga.
Yeah. So this is another doubles edition. If you're wondering how on a level of 1 to 10 suffering, this one has to be the most suffering so far. We slept in a car for 2 nights.
Nope.
Yes.
Black Diamond Mountain Mass.
Worse.
Mountain Man, way worse. This was not
the race.
even...
I'm sorry. I'm just talking about. It's exhausted.
Yeah.
So
it was pretty tough.
we should start at the beginning.
All right. So this is the deal. Typically on doubles, we'll fly into the Friday, Thursday. Well, we flew in this double we're doing is we flew in on Thursday. We've got all day Friday to make lovely videos for y'all. And then so we have a little bit of time before the first race. Could not do that last weekend. You want to talk about that?
Yeah. So, excuse me, Jennifer got honored with 40 under 40 for UGA.
That's one of the top honors that UGA gives their graduates. So they only pick 40 people a year, and how many they have? 4,000 people graduate every year.
Yeah, so that's amazing. Congratulations. That's incredible.
But the ceremony was on the Friday before the race. Can't miss the ceremony for that. So we figured out that really the only way this was going to work was if we did the ceremony and then drove to Virginia and did Patriots, man, which is this one, or the Patriots Triathlon Festival.
Patriots Triathlon.
And then drove from Virginia to New Jersey to do the next one. So, nothing really to go over on the Friday other than the drive. I mean, we hopped in the car, and what did we decide? It was 8 hours?
8 and 9 hours by the time we finished it.
Okay. Did we stop?
Yeah, there was gas and whatnot.
Okay.
Did we eat?
We had to have had pizza. Where did we have pizza from? I mean, I know we had pizza the next day, didn't we? Driving to Atlantic City because we were with the lady
Pizza Hut. We had Pizza Hut in the car.
Oh, we had the Hut.
Yeah.
We get to go Pizza Hut? Is that what we did?
Oh, we should have. Oh, so this was funny. So we're driving, and generally we'll have whatever the local pizza is. We try to find a local pizza shop so that we can,
sample the local pizza.
Yeah, figure out which regional variety of pizza we like. We're driving and don't really know where we are, so we order a pizza from a Pizza Hut 20 minutes ahead of where we are on the interstate, so it'll be done and ready when we get there. So we get there, and I don't know, what was it, like $14 or $15, something like that, for just a simple...
they had $5 pizzas out front.
Yeah, next time we cancel our order. Just, hey, I'm standing in front of your Pizza Hut. I'm just going to grab one of these.
Yeah, they
all
were already
we ordered
ready.
was a cheese pizza.
Yeah.
So, lesson learned there. Watch out for the $5 pizza deal.
We got a pan pizza, though, and the ones out front were probably not pan.
Yeah,
and the pan pizza is really good.
It is. Yeah.
That was north of Charlotte. So we were heading to Virginia. And that was like a little... I mean, it was a Pizza Hut restaurant, but it was like a Pizza Hut Express or whatever, so they had like a couple of tables in there, but we just hopped in the car, kept going. We needed to get to where we were going. Mm-hmm. Driving up through the mountains. Was this the deer? Were the deer in Virginia? Was this because you were driving?
Yeah,
I think it was
that
right
was
before
Virginia.
I mean, we're driving up and there's deer on the side of the road, and I'm like, oh hey Sam, there's deer over there. And then we keep going. Well, there's 2 deer, a mama deer and a baby deer, with their feet on the pavement, ready to cross. And I'm like, deer. And I'm sticking my hand out like, oh, I don't know what I was going to do because it's got an airbag. It's probably just break
your
my
arms.
But anyway.
It took me to like the 4th deer to figure out what in the world he was talking about. Oh, yeah, there they are. Huh.
Never slowed down. Not even a little bit. Just
The rule with deer is you don't slow down. You actually keep going. The rule with moose is if there's a brick wall or a moose, you should aim for the brick wall. So that's our friendly lesson of the day. I haven't tried either a brick wall or a moose, but that was what I was told.
So we get to the race, right? We just drive up to the race,
straight to the race.
And there's a building. Is it a school building or a gym or something? Some kind of commercial building. You turned into the race.
Like a government building.
And it's a park where the race is taking place. But there's this building, and so we're, when you drive in, and we got there, I don't know, midnight, 1 o'clock, something like that. I mean, we're sleeping in the car, so you're just trying to find a dark place. I mean, mind you, the darkest place was behind the building. That's actually probably where we should have gone. But we found a little dark parking spot right there by the building, and went to sleep. And we're in my car in the Pilots. This is the most room we've had ever.
Billy got the whole back seat.
I know. I got the whole back seat, and I got to realizing about, I don't know, an hour or two after I got to sleep that the back seat is not as cracked up as you would think that it should be.
I don't know, man. He didn't share, so something was.
Sam was laying his seat all the way back, and so
as far back as I could go.
It just about touched the back seat, so my feet are kind of wedged up under his head. Pretty much is what it was, and I'm all kind of cramped up, in there. And it's
the poor guy.
The seat belts are in your side because that's where they are. Yeah, so you had to stick like a blanket up under there to kind of make it. Anyway,
hey man, you got some. I got some Eskimo friends over here we're going to go meet. If you want to sell them some ice or something.
Yeah, I got you. I hear you.
He got to lay down.
You were laying down too, man.
Nope, still not laying down.
So anyway, about 3:30.
Oh yeah.
They come and they turn on this bright light. It was.
Dear
they crank
Lord.
it. It's one of these lights like what you see on the side of the road when they're doing road construction.
Yeah.
And it was the race people doing it, so you can't really complain.
Yeah, they were getting ready for the race.
And then I don't know. Shortly after 3:30, cars started coming by, and it's kind of a gravelish road as it comes in. So as they ride by, we've got the windows down because we're trying to keep it relatively cool. You hear this, and as all the cars are coming by, we were done sleeping. That was it. Yep. And so you drove. I don't know.
No, so my Fitbit said 2.5 hours. Just in case you were wondering,
okay.
2.5 hours.
So went on into the park, put our bikes together. Did we do it right there? And we found a little place where the light was, where they had another one of these construction lights,
which was handy. That one we liked.
And they had porta potties out there too in the parking lot, which was nice.
Well, so we changed in that.
So the race itself, we didn't do a review of this race, but let's go ahead and go over the swag. So you got a t-shirt, you got a pair of socks.
Yeah.
Which we've gotten this a few in these independent races.
Socks
we've gotten
seem to be the deal.
We've gotten a few so you get this instead of a hat.
Yeah.
Of course, I guess with the other one, the one we got socks and the kind of pullover cap. And it's a wooden metal. It's kind of a big metal. Yeah, with a leather thing.
Yeah. I liked the leather strap. We haven't had that before, so it felt a little more
different, something different. Anyway.
So this particular race is across the street from Jamestown, Virginia, the first
we saw that driving in. Yeah, that was pretty cool to see that driving in and be like, oh wow.
Williamsburg, Rev 3, I think it's still Rev 3, has a race in Williamsburg. This is it was around the corner. So this is a good area for history buff and racing.
Yeah. We drove through Jamestown afterwards and couldn't see anything because
they covered that.
They've built buildings around all the cool stuff.
Like they want to protect it or something.
Yeah.
Weird.
But we got a picture of the sign, so we put that on Instagram. The race itself, you got any stories from the race?
Oh man, so this is a river swim.
A river?
Yeah, we do so much due diligence on our races. I walked up to the body of water and didn't know what it was until we got in it. I'm swimming out. I'm swimming and I'm that first 500 my watch goes off and I look at my time and it's slow. I was like, oh man, this is going to be a bad weekend. What is going on? The second beep happens and it's just as slow, and then we're turning. That's going there. Dang, what happened? And then I turned that, so it's a out and back swim. I guess a box, so out and back box. To turn that corner, and then suddenly I'm like, wow. We're in a river.
I'm on fire.
Good to know. All right. Did the river swim. Got it.
I mean, to do a river swim, they did it the correct way. They had you as close into shore as possible on the way out, so you're not getting as much of the current. Then you catch the current on the way back. It didn't. I mean, I didn't have any kind of a record swim. It
wasn't anything spectacular. But
it was like 78 degrees, but they let us wear wetsuits, which was unusual.
I have no idea.
Yeah, they said it was wetsuit legal, so everybody was wearing a wetsuit, so we followed suit. And it was forever from the swim to transition.
Dude, good night.
I mean, they did it the only way they could, but it was forever.
It was a long way.
Well, we got to talk about transition in the beginning. So we're in transition, and we've got our bike set up, and we're talking to the guy next to us. I mean, because our bikes were set up, and we were there early, so you got nothing to do but talk to people. So talking to the guy next to us, and he's pretty talkative, and Sam's like, we're trying to set the world record, and the lady beside me, she was like, oh, you too, and she was being super sarcastic, and something, and then she said, oh yeah, I'm going for sub 4 hours today too, and we're like, oh yeah, but are you doing Atlantic City tomorrow? And she was like, no, are y'all? Yes, we are.
We have finally gotten to the point where what we're doing sounds ridiculous.
Yeah, and then I think it dawned on her, these guys really are trying to set the world record.
Because we don't look like we're of any caliber to set any physical world record.
And I mean, the sub 4 hours that we shoot for is the bike and swim combined, minus the run. If we can do the bike and swim in under 4 hours, we're having a good day.
That's a great day. Call that a winner.
So anyway, you get out of the swim, you come onto the bike. You talk about the bike? You got any stories? Did you meet anybody?
I stayed with. There was not a lot of talkers here. Is this a 2-loop course?
No, I don't even remember.
That's
it was the 2-loop course because the dude do 3 loops because he got messed up.
So 2-loop course. It was a weird 2-loop course.
Yeah, it was like a 15-mile stream.
Yeah,
and then you did the balloon twice and then came back down.
So, yeah. So it was kind of strange. I stayed with the guy that was in transition with us. We came out of the swim together, and so we stayed together on that first loop. Man, he turned to start his second loop, and he was already a little bit in front of him, and I just never saw him again.
He was tired of talking to you, man. He was like, this guy will not shut up. I don't know what it's going to take for me to get through this, but I'm just going to power down so I can leave this guy.
I mean, and he was good. So he was super nice, but he was a huge gator. I was like, how in the world did we get to Virginia and find a gator?
Florida gator.
Sorry, Florida gators.
For those the University of Florida gators, which are arch rivals of the UGA Bulldogs. Go Dogs! So anyway, I never even saw Sam on the bike, not even a little bit.
That was my goal. So I did good.
I don't know what he was doing, but I mean, you got to get you an electric engine in there or something.
Yeah, I finally got the battery worked out. I hadn't plugged it in.
Yeah, I understand.
Oh yeah. Oh man. So yeah, I was pushing it a little bit on the bike. I was like, he's not going to get me on this bike. This is a reasonably. Yeah. I don't know. This is what 2,000, 2,300, something like that.
I mean, it wasn't the worst we've ever done, but it wasn't an easy bike either.
Yeah, it was a hilly course, but not unreasonably hilly.
Roads were pretty good. I mean, it was we knew we were doing a race the next day, so you could only do so much. But
I think.
Yeah. So I mean, I get off the bike. I mean, my only bike story is that guy that was complaining after the race that he had done 3 loops. So the deal is you go out and you do these balloons, and you've got some police officers that are directing traffic. And they have no idea what loop number you're on. You got to keep up with that yourself. And so after you do the second loop, you go straight through. Well, there was a bunch of traffic that was blocking them, and so they went to the left side of the traffic, which covered up the sign that says go straight the second time. I mean, you saw it the first time that you went through, and the police officer and the staff directed them to go on a third loop. And they did the whole third loop. Dude, you should have known as soon as you saw that 30 or 40 mile sign, whatever the sign was that was less than a mile into the turn, you're on a third loop. You turn around.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that you made the mistake that you did it, but the fact that you did the whole loop again, that's on you. I mean, you can't complain to the race director that you did a whole third loop.
We were standing there as they were yelling at the race director for it.
And the race director's saying, I'm so sorry. We'll look at whatever we can do for next year for that. And I mean, I don't know that they could have done anything different. There was a big sign that said first loop left, second loop straight.
Yeah.
I mean, if you didn't see it the first time you went through, anyway. Yeah. So that was my only bike story. We get to the run, and I'm like, okay. I mean, it wasn't going to be a PR day for me, but I'm like, I can do sub 6. So let's see what I need to do. And it was, I loved this run course. There was a lot of shade.
There was,
and there was one section. How many times did we do that? Was it just twice, or did we do it 3 times?
Twice.
It was just twice. So you did this same section
we only
twice. You came back and you went back down to the swim,
one time.
and then you came back up.
No,
again.
yeah.
But the part that I loved was the furthest out from transition. You go through this park, and this park had, I mean, it was gravel, but it was the little small, like tiny gravel.
Oh yeah.
It was at least 4 feet wide.
It
Might have been 5 feet wide.
No, that was easily a 6 foot course.
And it was flat, and it was covered in trees. It was shady.
Amazing.
There was no stuff on your side. Well, I say
So
there's no
good.
stuff on your side. I got some like poison ivy or something. I'm guessing that's where it's from.
Yeah, we'll go with poison ivy.
Okay. Yeah. Well, anyway, it was a beautiful run course. I mean, as far as it was, because it was kind of hot that day.
Yeah.
And I finally did I catch you at the end of the first loop.
Into the first loop.
And we said, hey, let's do sub 6, and you're like, no problem. And that apparently that was a problem.
That was I pushed a little hard. So we've done enough doubles now that I felt like I could start doing some experimenting. The very first time we tried it, I went super easy. Where was that? In Claremont, and then we had Miami the next day, and I got a PR.
Yep.
So this time let's see what happens. And the answer is do not push it. Sorry. Now we know. Don't push it on the first day. You will have it's a tough first day, and then it's a really tough second day. So yeah, I really did not cause me to do anything I was not already doing myself. I was already pushing it, and so I just kept pushing it. Mostly I'm tired of getting beat, so I was going to keep up with it. I was going to beat him this time.
You could have thrown me under the bus there.
What?
I mean, I was the one that said let's do sub 6.
No, I was already pushing, and sub 6 sounded like a good goal. So this was absolutely my choice. So I jumped off that ledge. So it fell hard.
I mean, we finished. You got the medals. He had done like an Olympic. Was it just an Olympic also, or was it a sprint in an Olympic?
I think it was just an Olympic.
Because I think the sprint was the next day.
Yeah.
It's a festival, and he had races 2 days.
Yeah, and then because he did an aqua bike too.
Yeah. So there were lots of different parts of that.
So we should also mention that. So the guy that was on the other side of us.
Oh yeah. He was from Mexico studying his MBA at UVA, and came to do it. This was his first race in forever.
Yeah, he said like
10 years or something like that. Lost 50 pounds while he was training for this race, and came in second.
Yeah, second overall. So that was awesome.
Yeah.
We got to talk to him after. His wife and baby were here, so that was super cool.
Yeah. He was super excited to be able to have done that. So he did not look like, I don't know where he had 50 pounds, but
dude,
he was
a skinny guy.
Yeah,
I mean,
he was super skinny.
fit, not a
Yeah.
So man, good for him. That's awesome. Oh, he was super excited. So we love seeing that excitement and that joy.
So the good news about this race was when we finished it, we had our car. Didn't have to turn in a rental car. Didn't have to go catch a flight.
That was so amazing.
You just had to hop in the car and drive to Atlantic City, which actually wasn't that far away. 6 hours, is that what we decided?
It's supposed to be 6 hours, yes.
Okay, I mean, we stopped and did pizza, and did we do some air relaxing and stuff too? Anyway.
No air relaxing. Well, we did air relaxing in the car on the drive, but whenever, apparently I must have looked at Google at midnight when there was zero traffic, and apparently no idiots on the road. So
6 hours with no traffic.
yeah, it was supposed to be 6.
Oh, that's right, because you had to drive in the traffic.
Oh man, I don't know
All right,
how
all right.
he timed this twice.
All right. So,
We gotta cover this.
So we finish the race. We take apart our bikes, and we don't even take them apart. We stick them on the bike
it
rack.
was so amazing.
Yeah,
That was the
the
happiest
deal.
moment of my life.
We didn't even have to put together our bikes.
No.
That was the thing. Yeah. I said at the beginning of the video we had to put together our bikes. We didn't have to put together our bikes. They were just on the bike rack in the back. We were good to go.
So amazing.
All right, so put the bikes on the bike rack. We go find a shower, don't we?
Yeah, another pilot station.
Yeah.
So, we've now and $13.
Yeah, they're all $13. Doesn't matter where
so
you
now
are.
you know. Anywhere in the country, it's $13. I've been ruined by the water pressure in the truck stop bathroom is the greatest thing on the planet. I've gone back to normal showers now, and it's just not the same. I'm gonna get into trucking. I've decided my new career is now trucking for the showers, just so I can go shower.
It's those commercial showers, man. They want to fire hose you off to get you in and out, right?
I don't know what is on the truckers that requires that sort of water pressure. I don't really care. It's amazing. Highly recommend truck stop showers. I can't speak enough. This I think was the worst one that we have been to yet. Had some tiling issues and whatnot. Older, I guess.
But it wasn't bad.
No. My level of expectation for truck stop showers is now higher than the screen. I can't even hold my hand down. That's fantastic. So.
All right, so
the drive. So Billy drives first.
Right, and we're doing 2-hour shifts, right? I'll do 2 hours, then he can do 2 hours, and then I'll do 2 hours. I mean, that seems pretty fair. Right?
Somebody looked at this course. His 2 hours. We 80 miles an hour. We probably did 160 miles.
The speed limit was 70. I'm certain we were doing 70 miles an hour, maybe even 69.
Probably to be safe.
Yes.
Charlotte.
Definitely
we were definitely going absolutely less than the speed limit. So whatever distance we covered would have been that particular distance.
Yes.
Absolutely. So my turn comes and all hell breaks loose.
Wait a minute, did we stop and eat between my turn and your turn? Was that
was the second one.
Oh, okay.
That was my second drive.
Okay, well, yeah. So Sam's driving.
So we get into mine, and there's traffic, and there's people being idiots, and the roads are tight. And then right at like hour and a half, hour and 45 of my 2 hours, the heavens open up. There's a light shining down on our path, and I have to pull over and trade. It was like, what is this?
My turn to drive.
So Billy drives. He's driving. I'm looking at the traffic, and we've got to go through DC.
I'm not even paying attention to the traffic. I got the air relax going. I'm cruising back. We have pillows because we've been sleeping in the car. Yeah. I'm just kind of like, oh yeah, you having trouble, Sam? Oh, that's good. I'm good over here, man. Let me know if I can do anything for you.
White knuckled, holding on. Like, please don't break the bikes. I don't really care.
He was driving through DC. Is really what it was.
So then next we go to DC. So that's the second time.
Yeah.
Right. So we saw there was a wreck. And so we, obviously stopped to eat some Sicilian pizza.
Yeah, we stopped at a pizza place, and she shows us the menu, and they have regular pizza and they have Sicilian pizza. I don't know what Sicilian pizza is, but let's get that.
Yeah, it's like $1 more and fed like 12 more people. So
let's get that.
The two of us could polish that down, no problem.
And we did. Yes, we did. It was, so if you don't know what Sicilian is, it's a square pizza.
It's like Pizza Hut thickness. So yeah, their pan, thick. It reminded me a lot of that.
It was kind of crispy too.
It was, and sweet. Like the bread was a lot sweeter than, it might have been that particular place. Yeah. But that lady was my favorite. She was like, what are you guys doing? And we'd go over a little bit. Where are you guys headed? Atlantic City. On purpose? She's from New York. Yeah. So that was hilarious.
All right, so we eat our pizza. We hop back in the car.
I get back in the car, and we're entering DC.
We got to see drove right by the Washington Monument.
The DC to Baltimore Expressway at night. And I don't know, apparently DC cars aren't but like 8 feet wide, so their lanes are 9 feet wide. I don't know. Once again, terrible. I have no idea how Billy managed to time this. His timing.
Sam just doesn't understand. I drive everywhere.
He does.
Everywhere. This is the first race that he's driven, right?
And last, actually, we're going to make sure to get a rental car every time.
So,
yeah, somehow Billy has gotten elected rental car and hotel guy.
So nobody complains about the hotels or the rental cars.
Yeah.
I've gotten a little bit better about picking them. But anyway, now we know that a midsize SUV is good enough to fit the bikes and sleep in.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
and rest in.
Yeah.
We'll cover that.
So we finally get to the race.
Get to the race.
And we can't really find it. We can see transition, but we can't see athlete parking.
Yeah.
And it's the reason we can't see it is because it's on this airport. Lot, whatever you call it. It's kind of back in the back, and there was like a little security guy down in there. I guess there was that green light thing.
We should have probably driven down there.
Yeah, we absolutely should have driven down there because it would have been a lot darker, and we would have gotten a little bit better space, and we could have slept. But instead, we're like, all right, well, we see transition, so we know the race is around here somewhere. Let's park right here in this semi-darkish spot and go to sleep.
So spot number 1 had a van in it. It was a parking lot in front of a roller rink, I think is actually what it
Is that what
finally
it was?
And dude, like security guard, was walking laps around the lot. I was like, well, that's obviously not going to be us.
Yeah.
As soon as we parked
he's
there,
gonna come knock on our window and say, hey guys, you got to go.
So we go over to I'm going to call it an abandoned baseball stadium. Next door is actually what it was. It was a very nice
Is that what
stadium,
it was?
but yeah.
Okay.
We couldn't tell that night, but knew it was some kind of municipal building. And a cop drives by, and while we're in the process of parking, and leaves us alone. So Billy figured it would be good. I'm over here like, why in the world aren't we getting a hotel room? Why in the world aren't we getting?
Because
a
by
hotel
the time
room?
we get a hotel room, we'll have like an hour. I mean, it's already 1 o'clock
there was
in the morning.
a motel like across the street.
That was
Now,
a club.
To be
and
fair,
you know it was a club.
Yeah, to be fair, the motel might have not been reputable. It might have come with its own woman of the evening. But
I could have rented it by the hour. That might have been cheaper.
All right, we need a solid 3.5 hours. I'm sorry, sir. Our max is like 2 hours, and none of our guys need that. So we're next to the club because suddenly this car parks.
I mean, almost immediately after we park, somebody else parks in front of us, and we're not in like a regular parking space.
No.
It's kind of like, and there's nobody, there's
This is
nothing
an
else in this
awkward-
parking lot except us.
And our 2 bicycles.
Yeah, and we're kind of like, and I'd forgotten the locks for the bicycles, so that was on me. Anyway, I was like, I'm getting in the back seat and I'm going to sleep. It's so hard to get the bikes off the back of the car anyway that they're gonna wake us up if they try to steal our bikes. Sam, I don't think had that same
I had no faith in humanity whatsoever.
But
the first car comes, and then the second car comes. Ah, crap. We're definitely losing the bikes.
I think I actually even doze a little bit, and you hear this bass coming,
Outcast.
and it gets louder and louder and louder and louder, and then it pulls in our area, and then it comes and it parks right beside us, and the whole car's shaking, which is awesome. I mean, I love bass, but it was waking me up, and they hop out and they go to the club across the street.
It's like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it was like 1:30 for real. But so now I'm like
I'm wide awake, man.
I gotta
I'm freaking
get some
over here.
sleep,
Like,
man. I gotta get some sleep.
I'm
If we
so
just would have gone to the airport, which is just right down the driveway where we're parked,
we would have been fine.
We would have been fine, but we were not. So I think I actually get a little bit of sleep. I think I actually slept better the second night than I did the first night because I was just so freaking tired.
Yeah, so my Fitbit, I went back and looked, and with the naps that I got on the way up. Oh, so Charlotte sends a text. Hey Billy, make sure you guys are talking or whatever. I'm the only one who reads the text because Billy's asleep right next to me. So as we're trading off driving, we're also trading off napping. So if you include those naps, I got 5 hours and 5 minutes the entire weekend. We slept in the car.
Yes.
5 solid hours and 5 minutes. Yeah.
So we wake up
Exhausted.
at whatever time. The base people leave at 3:30. I guess the club closed at 3:30.
Which was
and,
convenient.
And we needed to check in by 4. So we needed to go figure out where the parking lot was.
The cars started coming in.
And their cars are coming in, and I don't know what they're doing. I think they're going to a factory or something. So I go back over to transition, and Sam's like, "No, man, I think it's back the other way."
So I've been awake for longer. I've had a chance to
we go back and get in the line of cars, and sure enough, there are people out there parking us, and so we're able to check in at 4 a.m. Actually, we were probably there at 3:50 or so to check in.
Yeah, it was because we actually checked in at 3:50.
Yeah, so that that ended up working out fine, but we had no sleep. It was a little bit of sleep. Actually, that's probably more sleep than we got for that mountain man.
Yeah. Yes, it was. I don't know. I just felt like I actually got. I don't know. I never got deep sleep, so it was never good sleep.
With Mountain Man, you were probably sleeping on the way up there while I was driving, because I drove the whole way.
I do remember that. You did drive
from Phoenix to Flagstaff. I drove the whole way.
I was fighting to stay awake and losing. I was doing
at one point
best.
we had to pull over on the side of the road and do some jumping jacks or something because it was dark and we were tired.
It's like out in the middle of nowhere, Arizona. Yeah.
So anyway, so we did a race review earlier, so there's not really much to talk about the race other than
crew.
So first of all, we that's so
in my favorite part.
In transition, I don't know how we explain it. So certain people are allowed to check in late, and you have
a religious exemption.
If you have to have special permission to check in late, and you have to have a really good reason. And that's as far as I'm going to go with that, because I think we get in trouble if we talk any more about it. But we checked in late with a whole bunch of other people. A whole bunch being maybe a dozen other people, and with dynamic numbers, they all racked around us, and they all knew each other. And they were all hilarious.
They were hysterical. So they were all from Brooklyn and Jewish. I think you can say that.
Okay.
You're covered.
Okay.
Those guys were a riot. They instantly started making fun of us. So, right, just like you would with any friend group, right? I felt instantly accepted into the clan.
And I mean, you tell them you're doing the world record, and they're like, "Well, I'm your best friend now, man." Dude, this dude's doing the work. You see this? He's doing the world record. Man. Oh, let's get a selfie, man. Come on, let's go. Let's get pictures.
Dude, it was, we have the rappers, and there's the dude in the purple suit with the umbrella, the hype man in the background. These were the world's best hype men. I felt so good. I wanted to hang out. I'm going up to Brooklyn just to visit them, just for fun.
So one of them, I'm on the run, and I'm suffering, but I'm not quite done yet. I mean, I'm still done, but I'm on the run, and I must have passed him, or he catches up with me or something. At some point, we're next to each other, and we're running down this boardwalk, and he's like, here's my best friend. Hey, everybody. And he's talking to everybody on the boardwalk. Hey, man, this guy, he's setting the world record. He did one of these races yesterday. Yo, everybody, this is my best friend right here. This guy
makes you feel so
I know,
good.
and I was like, I ran just a little bit faster, and since I ran just a little bit faster, I left him. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, man. So those guys, hopefully they'll hook up with us on Instagram or something.
That'd be fun.
Something.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, they were great. They made that race. They made a race a lot more fun. Did you see any of them on the bike or run or anything? I mean, I know you saw them afterwards.
No.
There was the one guy. He's talking. So we're like in the food area after the race, and he's up to Sam, and he's talking to somebody. He's like, "This guy right here, he's setting the world record." You're like, "All right, cool. He's setting the world record." Yeah, he did a race yesterday. In Virginia.
Right, and you get those like, say that one more time, but a little more slowly. Those guys were a blast, and my favorite was we hadn't met the older guy. But he's talking to me, I'm telling the story, and instantly, how do you monetize this? I was like, man,
y'all gonna do t-shirts, hats?
Yeah.
What you gonna do?
There. He's ready to sling it. It was amazing.
Was this the bakery guy?
Yeah. So,
he started a bakery because they couldn't find any good desserts.
Yeah, I could do that.
so now he owns a bakery.
Yeah. Oh, so those guys were a blast, man. I'd love to hang out with them again.
So on my favorite story on the bike course is I'm riding along. and I, the bike, I'm on my second loop. So it's a 3-loop course that you do, and I'm on my second loop. And you could tell, I mean, there's some people that just flown past me, and you're like, oh, yeah, you're on your third loop. And I mean, there are people that passed me on the first loop that were on their second. I mean, I knew they were, hopefully they didn't pass me a second time. They possibly could have, but I don't think so. Anyway, you've got people that go past you, and you can just rationalize in your head, okay, well, they're not on the same loop as I am. They're a whole loop ahead of me, which is 16 miles.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever it was, might have been more than that, 17 miles, 20 miles. It was, because whatever it was a bunch of miles that they were ahead of you. And so I'm on my second loop, and I'm just going. And
20 miles, because each loop was about 20 miles.
Yeah, so I'm just going, and let me I just click, 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 click. And I'm like, well, at least I don't have to listen to that my whole race. First of all, there were a ton of flat tires or mechanicals or whatever it was. There's a bunch of people on the side of the road.
Yeah.
And I counted every one of them as I passed them, because I was like, you count. Especially because I was like, I want to pass 200 people in this race. And I got done with the first lap, and I was like, I might not pass 200 people. So I was looking at all the aid stations, all the porta potties. If there was a bike on the side of the road, I was like, man, that counts. Finally, on my third loop, I got to start going past some people who must have been on their second loop, because I ended up getting more than 200, 261, I think. But whatever it was, I'm on my second loop, and I'm like, well, at least I don't have to listen to that, because it was a racket. Clack, 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 clack. And then it comes past me, clack, 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 clack. And I'm like, man, that dude is having bike issues. And then I look, and he's got a flat rear tire. Dude, he's riding on the carbon rim. Now, mind you, these are like $2,000 rims that he's riding on. And he's destroying his rim. And I'm looking at him, and I'm like, I need to catch up with him to see if I can tell him that he's got a flat tire. So I start going. And I'm kind of booking it a little bit, and I can't catch him. And finally, I realized this dude is pissed off. He's got 6 miles left, or whatever it was, to the end, and he's done. He's going all the way. I mean, that had to be. I never saw him again. That had to have been what it was.
I'm assuming it's the same guy, because mine also had carbon rims. He wasn't clacking yet, so I could tell his tire was flat.
Going flat.
So clearly he was
just trying to get to the end.
So I see him, and he passes me, and then I catch up to the guy who was in front of me, and I was like, man, we're going slow. He's like, how do you figure that? It's like, that dude just had a flat tire and passed us badly. Oh, man. So that's the first time I've had that happen.
Yeah, he was getting it. I mean, I've seen people ride with flat tires before, but he was getting it on that flat tire.
Yeah.
I wonder if he was one of the ones that I had passed that was trying to fix his tire. And, if you put in a new tube, but you still have something in your tire, it'll poke a hole in it, and you're done. I don't know, but
so, there was race support on this race, and they got worked. I don't. One of them was on the thing. Okay, so sorry, you got any more bike stories?
No, that was my lone bike story. I was lonely the whole time because I didn't enjoy it.
That was, people were not wanting to talk on this thing. I like to make quips, and that's my intro.
I wonder if it was just the wind.
Just
since you're having to battle against the wind, that's
everybody's kind of suffering.
You don't get credit for the elevation gain, yet there's still the extra resistance.
So yeah, it was a little bit of a suffering race for certain. So we passed through this toll plaza, and 3 loops. The second time we passed through the toll plaza, I was like, dude, that looks like a $20 bill floating in the air. We've paid what Ironman standard fees are $350 for these races.
About 300 is about the cheapest we can get it. I think, but 350, yeah, that's probably about right.
Right. So if you're a real racer, you've spent $350 on the race, plus the flight, plus the hotel, plus I don't know whatever other accessories you needed for this particular race. So you've got some real money into it.
Yeah.
I see $20. Man,
$20 is $20.
$20 is $20. So I was already passed. I passed a bike computer too. So also of note, finally saw a bike computer on the ground
and didn't stop.
It's a 3-loop course. I was on my second loop. I said I'm going to give them 1 loop to pick it up. Okay. So that was my rule. I was coming back, but on that 3rd loop, I was picking that joker up, and alerting lost and found that I had found it. Hey, I have a bike computer if anybody needs anything. They need this thing. But
It's not Garmin. It's an Armin.
Armin. It's
an Armin. It's
definitely an Armin
brand.
So I came back for my third loop and it was gone. So either somebody beat me to it or hopefully the owner reclaimed their bike computer. But so I come back through the toll plaza, and as I'm coming on the forward side of it, I see $1 laying on the ground. I was like, oh, please don't be that. Don't be. I'm not stopping for $1. But so I come to the backside where it was and pull over because I was like, it's no longer floating in the air. And sure enough, on the ground, boom, $10. I saved it for this video.
Was it that $10?
This $10.
What's the serial number?
I'm showing it online. Yeah.
I think that was mine.
Was it?
I think that was mine.
$10.
Yeah, man, I think that was mine.
I am officially a professional racer now.
Yes,
I have been paid to race.
You've been paid to race. I got you.
So I'm going to need a pro card and a Kona entry whenever Ironman just gets a chance. This is basically it proves I'm professional. So yeah.
If you have anything to do with Ironman, just go ahead and forward this video to is it Andrew Messick at Ironman.com, whatever his email address is, whatever it is, you forward it to him and make sure that Sam now gets a Kona spot.
Yeah. Also maybe.
I mean, if you're giving Sam a Kona spot, you may as well give me a Kona spot too, right?
He would have picked up the $10 had
I seen it. Yeah, I was so focused on getting through that bike. I mean, I passed Sam at what, mile 10? 15, whatever it was.
18, thank you.
Okay, whatever it was, I passed him.
I see you trying.
And I'm just suffering and suffering. And I get a transition, and I'm all...
Dude, I was like, man, he's going to be gone.
And here comes Sam, and I'm like, how am I only like 2 minutes ahead of you?
And I'm saying the exact same thing. How in the world are you
stopped and got $10?
Yeah, there was a break. Oh, I was so excited.
I got you on the run.
You did. You came out. We're starting the run, and I'm still hurting. I'm still suffering from the day before. I was suffering on the bike, and that first part of it, it's kind of like it is today. There's no clouds. It's not super hot, but there is zero break from the sun.
Yeah, it just beats on you.
And I'm gonna call it low 80s. At this point, and you're on concrete, so it just stinks, and I'm hurting, and so I see you also hurting in transition, and suddenly that spark of hope is rekindled. I can beat him twice in 2 days. This is gonna happen. So I start my run. So I had designs on that transition. I literally planning on laying on my back for like 5 minutes. Screw that. I'm in. Let's get this. Slap some sunscreen on my face. Apparently, whatever I put on my neck is like inches thick because at the end of the race, it still is like creamy. Yeah. Hopefully, that's sunscreen. So run out after him and limp out after him. And I'm on the course and I'm starting to suffer on this thing. I was like, come on, catch him. And then, so I see you coming. It was out back, but on the airport, but I didn't know where the turn was. So I see you, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I got him. And then I look at my watch, and it was a minute to the turnaround. To you're 2 minutes in front of me. I got this. I don't got this. I don't got this. No, I'm hurting and suffering. And then next time I see you, you're like 5 minutes in front of me. Oh, crap. Oh. I started running with a guy from Atlantic City or from New Jersey, Atlantic City area, and he's like, yeah, man, I want to do 9s. I think is what he wanted his average to be. I was like, man, if you're running with me, we're not gonna have a good time. I was like, whoa, then we gotta pick it up. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna pick it up on the back half. Like, you're kind of suffering now. He said this was his second race, and he'd kind of buffaloed his way through his first. So I tell you what, let's try to keep it, 10 below 10, like 9:45s, 9:30, something like that. So you have a chance. Like, but at the halfway point, you're going to lose me because this is all I got. This is 100%. So we start jogging, and he said his family was at mile 8. So we were going to see the family at mile 8. So I'm just trying to help, and we're talking. And so somebody else is hearing us talking. So we pick up another guy, and he's from Long Island. Long Island. His accent was hysterical. So then we pick up another guy from New Jersey. So we have South New Jersey and
South
and
Jersey, North Jersey, and Long Island. Sam's
just talking away.
Sam's building him a crew.
Yeah, I mean, we're ready.
Taylor Swift's got nothing on Sam. One race, he can build him a whole crew.
So suddenly, I turn around. And we have lost Atlantic City. The dude is just gone. I was like, oh, man, come on. We're almost at 8. We're almost at 8. I don't know. We're at like 7. We're almost at 8. And he's just, I don't know where he went. So I never actually saw him again. I hope he's all right. So I didn't know what the family looked like.
Dude, you got to know. You got to take care of your crew. When you're building this crew,
yeah,
you got to take care of them.
Hey, man, you got to go.
I mean, Taylor Swift,
you know,
when Ariana Grande, had that incident or whatever in Europe, man, Taylor Swift said, I send you one of my planes. One of my planes. You can't leave a man down like that.
Just pick him up and hold him.
Yes.
That's
how you take care of your crew. I can't believe you didn't take care of your crew.
Hey, man, come on. This is the weeding out process for the crew.
Okay.
So we actually, somewhere along the way, we lose the guy from Long Island, too. Because it was funny, the guys from Jersey and Long Island were giving each other crap.
Okay.
It's hysterical. I'm having a blast just,
listening to them.
Poking the bears every once in a while just to make sure, it's fine. We're running our mouths. We're not going that fast. So, hey, we may as well. So somewhere in there, it's just me and the guy from South Jersey.
You lost another man.
We lost two. We were a 2-man crew at that point. Come on, man. You can't. Listen, she said it for Ariana Grande, who's a mega superstar. Obviously, you have your top mates.
When that was announced, I was kind of like, Taylor Swift's got 2 jets.
No,
how many jets do you need
to get that story correct? That was her European. Like, she has 2 jets in Europe. She
Whatever.
keeps 2 planes in Europe. That's not in the States. Yeah, I'm just going to send my European jet over there. So, Taylor, we're going to Spain here
if
shortly.
You can hook us up, we'll be a member of your crew.
Yeah, we're in, as long as you're not running fast.
Yeah, I'll stick with you. He's going to leave you, but I'll stick with you, man.
So I got to talk to the guy from South Jersey for a long time, and we finished the race together. He helped pull me through. So he was a lot of fun. He is a environmental guy. I don't know what to call that. Environmental, does environmental studies for gas stations and that kind of thing. Make sure that everybody's on the up and up. But it overlays with a lot of the stuff that I did too. So. It's interesting to talk about that. Okay. No, we had a blast.
I don't really have any run stories other than Scott at the end. I kind of talked about it earlier, but I get on the run and I'm like, all right, I got a chance at sub 6, and doing 2 sub 6s in one weekend would be pretty cool because we haven't done that yet. But I'm like, I got to run. I got to get at least 6 miles in the first hour for me to do sub 6. And so I'm like, let me just see if I can do it. And, the first mile, I was like, I don't think I can do it. But you work your legs out after the bike. And so I did like 6.6 miles in the first hour. So, there was a chance that it was going to happen. But it wasn't likely. I mean, I kind of knew by that point. I was like, yeah, it's just not. I mean, you're out there in the sun.
Yeah.
So I get to, I don't know. I mean, it was the run was actually kind of a cool course. You went out on the fishing pier, which was kind of different, and then when you went around that building, which was kind of out into the ocean. So on your Garmin, it looks like you run out into the ocean and then come back. And it's just down the boardwalk where there's plenty of people cheering, and they're cheering for you. And I mean, I'm kind of, I mean, when you're suffering, you want to tell people thank you, but all you're trying to do is put one foot in front of the other. So anyway, I get to maybe mile 10 or so, and somebody asked me about the back of my shirt, and so that really kind of helps because you start talking, and then you want to run their pace, and they want to run your pace, and neither one of you want to stop and walk. And he tells me, okay, well, I'll walk all the aid stations, and I'm thinking in my head, well, I'll walk more than that. but okay, I'll walk
to the aid station.
I'll walk the aid station.
We'll run through the aid station.
Yeah.
throw the water in the face, keep going, and then start walking again.
And anyway, along about mile 11, I mean, we're talking about, the races and different races and his family's going to be at the end and all this. And along about mile 11, we're going, and I hadn't taken a break in a while. I'm like, hey, man, I got to walk. And he's like, oh, thank God. He's like, I'm glad it was you and not me. And so we walked for, I don't know, a little bit, a couple minutes or two, and then started back up. And he starts asking me about the finish. He's like, you ever done a beach finish? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, where you finish on the beach. I'm like, oh, no, I've never done that. And he's like, oh, so this is going to be your first one. I'm like, okay. We finished on the beach. We had already passed the finish line, but I'm so, blinders, like, where do I go? And not only the finish line, when you go around this building, so you go and you take a right, and the finish line's in the corner, so you, like, pass it twice and never paid attention to people. Yeah. Anyway, and I'm like, nope, never done it. This will be the first time. And he's like, okay. And then we go a little bit further. How far is it on the beach? Because I'm like, sand, and I'm already preparing myself. And he's like, 50 yards, man. It's not far at all. You go down the ramp, and it's just a little bit of sand, and then you're at the finish line. Okay, I could do that. And so we get to go in, and I don't know, along about mile 12 or so. He's like, all right, no more walking. No more walking. We're going to run the whole time. And I was like, you might not be walking anymore, but I'm walking. And he was like, all right, we'll walk the uphill. And I'm like, we're on the freaking boardwalk. What are you trying to get into my head? There's no uphill. But then when you go around this building for the last time, there's kind of an uphill going up. And he's like, we'll run to that, and then you can walk the uphill. And I'm like, nah.
Fine. Something.
We'll do that. So we go to that, we walk the uphill, and he's like, all right, I can start whenever you're ready. Well, I mean, the finish line's not but a quarter mile away, but it doesn't matter. I mean, my legs are heavy, and I'm just running. So anyway, we finished together. He wanted to go across the finish line together because he wanted to finish her picture with me. So good for him. That was the last I saw of him. I didn't see him after the race at all. So hopefully, hey Scott, hope you're doing well. But that was, I slogged through the sand, and I see a chair. It was a volunteer chair. I didn't care. I passed the finish line, gave Scott a high five, and I went straight down and sat in the chair because I was like, I'm done. But still ended up being like 6:05 or something like that, which, I mean, really, that was a lot better than I thought that it was going to be. I mean, I knew it wasn't going to be sub-6, but 6:05.
That's pretty good. No, I had seen a sign at one of the aid stations. Delmo, I think is the name of the like Delmo Sports is the name of the race director's company that puts it on. And so it was Delmo Sports makes you run on the beach. Delmo Sports is evil. It was one of the like signs. I was like, okay, I guess we got a beach run. Got it. And my experience with soft sand is Donna. They put down mats. They had you run on the beach, but they put down mats over the soft sand, and then you ran on the hard sand, and then mats back up. So for your beach run, it wasn't like you were in that soft stuff.
When have you ever seen Ironman Florida on the? They don't do mats.
No, but that was the swim. I just had hoped. No, there were no mats.
It was only 50 yards. It wasn't that bad. Yeah. It separated the men from the boys.
It did, and I was in the boys category. It's fine, and just swing by JCPenney, the little boys section.
All right, so we finish up, and we're in Atlantic City. I mean, what do you do when you're in Atlantic City? Well, you get a comped hotel room, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you have to.
Obviously, when you're high, prestige, important people like us that obviously, the three people that watch our videos know.
They did not comp us because of this race. No. They didn't comp us at all. They comped us because you went to Vegas and gambled some money.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I mean, as long as we get that straight.
I liked my story better.
Yeah. People need to know
that I've got a gambling addiction.
No. Seriously,
I'm in.
That we have major sponsors. Sam and Billy,
and we really appreciate. We want to reach out
and our family sacrifice so that we can be able to come. Thank you so much. So anyway, we go.
The Borgata Hotel was where,
and it was beautiful. That bed was so luxurious.
So nice.
I'm thinking that after 2 nights of sleeping in the car, we could have slept on the concrete ground, and it would have been luxurious.
So amazing. But this was,
yeah, it was. So we actually got a really good night's sleep, and had dinner in the hotel, which, it was. I had a cheese chicken steak. It was cheesesteak fixed with chicken. Dinner in the hotel. Got not room service, but they had like a restaurant there. I got a cheesesteak, a chicken cheesesteak thing. You got a salad?
You got a salad.
Why are you gonna get a salad after a race, man? You can eat anything you want. You can get a salad.
You can eat anything you want before the race. After the race, you've already burned the calories, man. You're done.
All right.
So got protein.
Anyway, so stayed in the hotel. Got up. Went to bed early. It was, I don't know what time it was, 8 o'clock, something like that. Whatever it was, we had to get up early to get Sam to the airport. We were on the road at 5 a.m.
We were on the road at 5 a.m.
The road at 5 a.m. And Sam made the super generous decision of getting a flight out of the second closest airport to where our hotel was. I guess the Atlantic City airport would have been closer. So we rode together for an hour to Philadelphia. And then I dropped him off. And then
so what you're complaining about
the additional 14 hours I drove by myself.
We had this discussion. In fact, I remember this discussion. Hey, I'm going to fly. We can all fly. Or you could drive home. I'm going to fly.
It was really expensive to put that Honda Pilot in the plane. I'm just letting you know that it was really expensive to get that thing in the plane. So I went and drove it home. That's a sacrifice. It really was. I got home, started at 5 a.m., got home at 8 p.m.
That's
I was tired. It was a long drive, but I had a couple stops along the way. I got to see some old friends, so that was nice.
That's good.
It was fine. It was fine. The fact that we started at 5, I think, helped it. I mean, because you're a little tired when you're starting.
Yeah.
But then it gets light, and so you kind of wake up as you go along. So it was fine.
How was DC? Did you drive through it, or did you get around it?
I did have to drive through DC, and I'm trying to think. I don't think there was somewhere. It had to have been after I dropped you off, but after. I mean, probably soon after, a giant rock hit the windshield.
Oh!
I mean, it was giant. And giant as in, giant. But I mean, I could see it. I could see it. It was like in slow motion as it came. And it hit the windshield, and I'm like, ooh, that's going to hit me. I mean, like, come through the windshield and hit me. I mean, that's how, boom! And I was like, did that even hit the windshield? Man, that's a really strong windshield. Because I'm looking right where I think that it hit, and there's nothing.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, from the bottom of the windshield, and all throughout the rest of the trip, it just kept getting bigger and bigger. And I forgot to tell Charlotte about it. She was driving the car this weekend. She was like, hey, man, did a rock hit the windshield while you were driving?
Tell me what happened in Atlantic City. There's a shattered windshield and a body in the trunk. I was
like, oh, yeah, the windshield got broken. She was like, good. I thought you were going to be so mad that I got the windshield broke. She was like, is it safe for me to be driving? I was like, yeah.
I drove 14 hours on that. You're good.
We need a new windshield.
Oh, man. At least
it hit like, I don't know how an inch or two from the bottom of the windshield to where it hit. I mean, like where the hood comes over and the windshield keeps going down. It landed below
down
that.
there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Impressive. That's an impressive shot.
Yeah. No idea where it came from. It was just, you could just see it coming in there. And I mean, it had to have been like from a big truck or something, because I don't think a car could have shot it up that high.
No.
I guess somebody could have thrown it. I don't know.
Right, once again, would have been an impressive shot.
Yes. Yeah. Anyway.
Everybody was okay.
That was the end of my stories. I got home, and it was kind of a short week before we came up here.
Yeah, this was a super short week. That's really tough to get anything done.
I don't think we're ever going to make these videos 15 minutes.
Nope. No, it's definitely not happening.
We're some ramblers, man. We got to quit rambling.
I mean, I feel like Sydney could edit it. Let's make it Sydney's fault. I'm just giving all of the information. She can just cut it down. Listen, this is the editor. This is the
if
director's
she cuts
edition.
down, if we have a director's cut edition, we're gonna be like, well, yeah, remember that story? And you're gonna be like, nah, we didn't do that story. Go back and watch the video. The story's not on there, so the story didn't happen.
It never. Yeah, it's true. But we have the raw footage. Really.
I think the raw footage gets deleted.
It doesn't get. It's gone. He gone.
She might be saving a blooper reel. I don't know.
No, man. Look
All
forward
right.
to that.
Well,
So
we'll have more stories next weekend after
this
weekend.
week is Bear Lake, Idaho, and
Maple Valley,
Washington, just outside of Seattle. So
we're getting very close to setting the record. Very, very close. We will hopefully set it next weekend in Augusta.
Oh, hopefully. I'm definitely setting it next weekend in Augusta.
I'm with you. Let's go.
All right. We'll see you in the next one.